We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport. Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We've got a big show ahead, guys. We have Dorothy Crowell coming in. We're going to talk about the educational 3-day, and we're going to talk about the one and only Molokai. It's going to be an awesome show. We're just going to quick check in with our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Right back.
Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show. John, we have some great sponsors for this 5-season show that we've had, right?
That's right.
So thanks to all of them. And look, y'all can all advertise on our show, can't they?
Yeah, everybody. Sally, Sue,
Jim.
yeah, whatever. Come on.
Come on.
Come
Call
on, get
in.
with it.
So we've got a great show.
Yeah, so we're here in the Jump for Joy studio. Thank you to Jump for Joy for helping all of this happen.
Right.
And obviously,
Horse
to Horse
Trailer
Trailer
Pros.
Pros, they are awesome as well. Yeah, so we've got Dorothy coming on. We've, funny enough, been trying to get her for a long time, but she is difficult because she's so busy.
Not because
Not because
she's
she's difficult,
but
she might be difficult.
But she's busy.
But she's busy.
But she's around. I've known Dorothy for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's a great story of hers, and it's going to be exciting for all of y'all to listen to. We've got things happening around the world. What's in your world?
Well, the thing I was sort of starting to get focused on was Burley.
Wait one.
Okay, pause.
Big news. I think you had something to do about it. The USEF came out with a ruling.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about that, John. The Mylar combo bit is allowed in national horse trials.
Yep.
And I think, thank you very much for whatever due diligence you were doing.
Look, it wasn't just me.
It was a team.
Yeah, but it was a team of everybody, quite honestly. I think everybody, look, anytime stuff like what happened at Kentucky happens, I think as cooler heads prevail, you start realizing like, okay, well, that was actually apparently a rule that people didn't realize was a rule. Somebody caught it, applied it. If we don't like it, then we have to do something about it.
Right.
So,
And I think that's a good point. So, and I've talked about this before, and I think and we can not go too deep into it, but I think what needs to happen on the FEI Bit app is more transparency, like dates of submission, when it was uploaded, how it was uploaded,
right,
why it was uploaded. All of a sudden, you can't wake up each day. For the Bit app right now, you can wake up tomorrow, and there's pictures added that you don't know are there.
Right.
But I think that's something we need to work on, and hopefully the FEI will get a clue and get that Mylar combo back up and running for the FEI events, but well done.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, it's, for us at USEF, it was really about, this is a bit that's been around for a long time. It is a good, useful bit combination bridle that the horses that go well in it, they go well because it works for them. You
Yes.
can say, I don't know if you want to say they enjoy it or they
I
listen to it, but it makes a safer, better horse.
Yes.
And I just don't see why you would take what's working away.
But I truly believe this, and I'm going to say it again. Somebody thought whatever they were taking a picture of was a modified bit, and it was not. It was a Mylar combo that wasn't modified, and that's how it got in there. It's exactly how it got in there. That's why we need the transparency, why it's in there, how it got in there,
Right.
and the person that did it. That being said, you got it done. Everybody out there who helped with that, thank you.
And so now I think the only thing is we just got to make sure that people who are using it at national horse trials,
Don't
at least
use
for
it
this
at
year,
FEI.
don't use it at FEI, because as we've talked about, the whole point of going to aligning national bit rules with FEI rules that we did run into numerous times, people showing up to FEI competitions and either getting eliminated or finding out in the warm-up the bit that they wanted to use they couldn't use because they could here but they can't there. And so that was the reasoning behind it. And now we can look back on that and say, okay, should we have done that or not? But the point is that was the reasoning behind it, so we got to make sure going forward that this bit people understand it's an exception.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an exception for USEF.
I get that and I agree with you, but I think we're really dumb to take it out of our hands of control and pass it over to something else. I will have that argument always.
Yeah, no, we have.
And great. Okay, somebody didn't know about the FEI bits. Y'all, it's there. It's where it is. We don't match the FEI rules completely.
No.
So if you don't know that you can't give your horse butte at an FEI event and you do it and you blame that we don't have matching rules.
Yeah, it wasn't so much about blaming it as much as it was trying to make it easier, more straightforward to understand. But I hear you. I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Well, let's move on to Burley.
Okay, Burley. I have right here. I do that because Briggs likes paper. So I was going to put this on my phone, but he doesn't like it when I look at my phone, so it's on paper. So Burley, the U.S. competitors, as of today,
Right.
Will Faudree on Mama's Magic Way, Jenny Brannigan on FE Lifestyle, Andrew McConnon on Wakita 54, Cosby Green on Copper Beach, Mia Farley on Phelps, Megan O'Donoghue, who is another great friend of the show, on Palm Crescent, and Hannah Sue Holberg on Capital HIM. So that's a pretty good list.
It is a good list. And let's talk about Hannah Sue for a minute, because she promises to come on the show when she gets back.
Right.
And we tended to kind of leave her off a list when we were going to Kentucky.
Oh, we did. Yes, we got to make sure.
So, Hannah.
Well, really, you did that. It wasn't me.
Hannah, we are watching you, and I know you're going to do really well. I know Capital HIM feels terrific, and he's getting on an airplane the 28th to head on over.
What's his barn name? Do we know?
No, Hannah Sue, I don't know.
Him.
It's him.
Yeah, okay, him. Or Cappy.
Him line.
Or Tall. Maybe it's Tully.
I don't know.
All right, Hannah Sue, we believe in you.
That was good. That needs to be a t-shirt.
Hannah
Hannah Sue, we believe in you.
I like it.
So I think the really cool thing is it's got to be Cosby Green's, is this her third 5-star?
I think that'd be right. I think that's right.
Did she do badminton?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think so. It might have been Burley last year. I'm terrible. I'm not, as I've said before, I'm not the most well-informed.
I think the most competitive horse is coming into its own, and that's Will Faudree and Mama's Magic Way.
If he can put in the good dressage test.
And let me see when that horse does.
Yeah.
It's like on fire.
Yep.
So hopefully that will go well from him. Palm Crescent. I mean, he's in his twilight years, but boy, is it competitive.
Yep.
What else we got on there?
So we got Phelps, who he's going to be right there going into show jumping, and then it's just going to be, will all the stars align, and can he leave enough of them up that he can stay competitive on the last day?
Right.
It's a good team. Andrew McConnon, he is getting more and more competitive all the time, so that should be fun for him to go over there. And I'll tell you what, Jenny Brannigan, she is a stone cold competitor. FE Lifestyle is a great horse. They could certainly, I'm not just saying it, you could come through virtually all of this list and say, yeah, if everything lines up,
they could do well.
every one of these horses could have a really competitive weekend. That's pretty exciting.
That is exciting, and hopefully everything aligns before they get there, because things can go wrong.
Yeah, it could go wrong by the time this airs.
So I think Blair Castle is happening this week.
Yes.
Blair Castle. I think
Zach's there.
Zach's there
Yep.
on direct merger.
Direct
Advance
merger was my horse.
I put those together all the time.
Yeah. Same dealer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And then I think he's going on to Blenheim, so good luck to him. Horse looks great. I saw some videos.
Yeah, he's been sending me videos. He's been over at William Fox Pits
Looks
and having jump
fantastic.
schools and using the gallop.
I was the first time I
going
saw him
great.
doing cross country without pulling.
Yeah. Yes.
I was like, oh my God, look. He was like,
looked great.
so stars aligned.
That's right. Boom.
Good luck this
Go
weekend.
Zach.
Go Zach. We had Pseudo Nations Cup that just happened. And that was,
Is that Arville? Is that
Farville.
right?
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Shout out to Hallie Kuhn. I think she jumped around a cute girl with just 6.4 time penalties.
Yep.
Good for her. Other girls there were Catherine Coleman. Help me out. I know the other ones. Tiana Cadre.
Yep.
And there was one other.
Come on, Briggs.
Come on, Briggs.
You're supposed to be stat boy, remember? That was like season 1. You were stat boy. What happened?
I don't know, but congrats to those girls. I know that Hallie did really well. She kind of had a redemption for her run at Aachen. I mean, the mare at Aachen was amazing.
Yep.
I think she was just trying to get it done and just had a glance off. But those two are I think those two we're gonna see for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
really cool.
It's very exciting.
Anything in your barn? What's behind your barn? What's happening?
We're just doing our thing, man. Just got rolling at Ocala. Had a good time. We're heading up to the aecs with a couple of young horses.
Yeah.
And just building the string.
So, well, there is a waiting credential for you for the John and Rick show at the
For
AEC.
press?
Yeah, because I'm not going, so
Sweet.
grab it. You can go behind the scenes.
All right, cool.
Not that you're.
Where does that get me? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'll find out. I'll let
maybe
you know.
something special.
Okay, so guys, here's the deal. I will get the credentials. I will post some stuff from various locations that only press is allowed to be, which potentially is not the same places that riders are allowed to be. And if I get questioned, I'm just going to whip up my badge.
And just say
Press,
you're me.
Press. Yeah, it's Rick Wallace, if you're going to write me a ticket, Mr. Officer.
Just give it to them.
Give it to Rick.
Give it to him.
Yeah, I might need your driver's license as well.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, congratulations on that. Getting to the AECs, I think it moves to California.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So it's the last year in Kentucky.
Well, I think it goes for 1 year west and then it comes back.
And then, yeah.
I believe.
So that kind of pops out and comes back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any word on the Olympics? I have heard some bouncing around.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I know equestrian, from what I've been told, has been confirmed.
This is what I believe. It went really well in Paris.
Yeah.
For eventing as well.
Yes.
And it was very easy to watch.
Yep.
In the format that they had it.
Yep.
I know there's some rumblings that they're kind of second guessing the short format in LA. That's just rumblings. I don't know if those are true or not. Just some things that I've read. Because people get even more confused with all the challenges that they have with the short format at the Olympics.
Right. I have not heard that, but that would be great. I think it should stay the way it was.
I just think
Paris
what
was
they
amazing.
did was great.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree.
any closing
Now,
words
let's get to
of
Dorothy.
wisdom?
I am the most unwise.
Briggs and I are going to Kentucky to the Mustang Magic the second week in September. We'll be at the horse park.
Sweet.
We are announcing.
Awesome.
Briggs is doing dressage announcing.
Do you get credentials for that too?
Yes.
That's awesome.
So we get to watch Elisa and her working students take some really cool Mustangs up there and compete. I think it's $50,000 or $60,000 for the
All right,
prize
if
money,
she wins, dinner's on Elisa.
or maybe it's $75,000. It's a lot.
Elisa,
Yeah,
you're paying.
you're paying if you win.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's been a great end of this summer.
Yes, thank goodness autumn is coming. So
Who is she?
she's this chick. She's great. So let's take a break, and we're going to be right back with Dorothy.
With Dot.
Awesome.
Dot Trap. Equibrew, now available in the USA. It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
Equibrew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order Equibrew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
Jump for Joy fences are easy to move, lightweight, durable, and low maintenance. So we're out here on the cross country. We just finished over in the show jumping over the Jump for Joy fences. Had a great time schooling over them. They're really nice and easy to move, so we were able to adjust some things and really have the exact school that we needed thanks to the Jump for Joy fences. I love them. Order yours at jumpforjoyusa.com. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Hi, my name's Leslie Law, and we are a proud supporter of Jump for Joy. We've been using their portable cross-country jumps now for about 10 to 15 years. We love these jumps because, as you can see, they're very easy to move. It would only take another person on the other side, and I could place this fence wherever I wanted to very easily.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are in the Jump for Joy studios here at the lovely Hollings Farm. John, thanks for hosting our studio.
I feel like I'm not hosting the studio. It just happens to be here, but yeah,
I think you did. I think you did a great job. We have a great visitor.
Yeah, Dorothy Crowell, thanks for coming.
I know you as, before you mention anything,
Okay,
Dorothy Crowell.
that's a long time ago.
Yes, but not a galaxy far, far away, so we can still say it.
Pretty close.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Yes, definitely.
I'm glad to be here.
And it's our Equibrew segment. It's a live probiotic. You can go to brickfieldnutrition.com to order your Equibrew. It's really good for daily gut digestion for the horses. Turns around a lot of horses with bad problems, and I would suggest all of y'all out there get your horses on that daily dose. I know that John does.
Yes, got them all on it. It is good stuff. So thank you to Equibrew for sure.
Definitely.
Dorothy,
Yes, sir.
so you come on the show. We've been trying to get you on, but you're incredibly hard to schedule with
Oh, yes.
because
So
because you're busy. So the first thing I want to do, because I think this is cool, is we're going to talk about Molokai. We're going to talk about the educational 3-day events and all of that stuff and horsemanship and all the stuff that's important as far as eventing goes, but you're doing something else.
Yeah, so I started a second career. I decided I wanted to do barn, farm, and home design, and I have a little business called Medalist Designs, and I just assumed everybody knew exactly what they wanted in their barn and exactly where they wanted their paddocks, and it's turned out to be kind of a thing. Like,
Right.
I'm busy.
It's awesome. So you did I
one.
think the first thing you did was Hardwood Hollow?
Yes.
And so is that like complete now?
Yes, it's been complete, and all of the lots sold for 2021 was when it was finished.
That's great.
So
And so the house that you lived in there, that I came to the
was
house and
sold
everything, that's sold. Somebody
to
else is there.
Harriet McCord,
Okay.
Irish show jumper.
Awesome.
And then I moved to Lot 1 for a little while, and that was sold to the Osbornes, who are from Nebraska. And then I moved to and worked on Lot 3, and that was sold to the Williams from Kentucky. And so we've got a really cool eclectic group in our little equestrian community out there. And
So do you still live at Hardwood Hollow?
I live on the final lot, which is called the Hollow. It's actually the lot I was hoping to end up in.
Right. And you'll stay there, or are you going to sell that one?
I plan to stay there, but
Everything has a price.
Everything has a price.
Yeah, cool.
So explain to everybody, because it's an equestrian community. I've been there. You did a great job. I know you were
Thank you.
plagued in the beginning
A little
with rain and rain
Irma.
and rain.
Irma.
But you worked out that problem. You have a community ring, correct?
Yes, so I said what's a little different from mine is I wanted to live there. So it wasn't just a developer going in and trying to make money.
Right.
Right? I'm not a developer. I'm just a horse person that was arrogant enough, I guess, when you're an upper level event rider, you do have a slight level of arrogance in there. So I was arrogant enough to think, oh, I can do this myself because it's nothing out there is what I want, so I'm just going to do it myself. And I know now that if I knew then what I know now, I would never have been brave enough to do it. But thank God, ignorance is bliss.
Right.
And in the end, I'm exactly where I want to be. I left 30 feet of tree borders around each lot, so each person kind of feels like they're on their 88-acre farm. You can't see each other's builds.
Oh, that's great.
And then I took 10 acres and set it aside as the commons, and that's where our arena is, so that each of the lot doesn't have to build their own arena and their own riding area. They can just concentrate on a place to turn their horses out and live
And you
themselves.
have a hacking.
And we have a little over 3 miles of easement and bridle paths.
Yeah.
And part of that is the gallop?
Then I did measure out it's actually very gradual, only a hill to a Floridian,
Right.
but it does
Have an
ascend.
incline.
It does have an incline for 3/4 of a mile.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
Very cool.
awesome.
yeah.
And
Not
so-
perfect. I don't need it anymore, but it's ready to go.
It's ready to go. So what's the next project then?
I have a lot of little projects that I've been working on and a couple of big ones. I have one in Kentucky, or one I was hired. The other probably biggest thing I did was I was hired by the Nygaards to do something similar on a much grander scale at the Jockey Club, and then they sold it to the Roberts.
Right.
So I got to spend hours and hours at the Jockey Club walking those grounds coming up. I mean, I have it.
You were coming up with like farms?
So I was coming up with land use, right? So my plan was to have on really my plan in short was to make, to make the Jockey Club, if WEC is like Las Vegas, right?
Right.
It's fun, it's bright lights and all the fun you can have. I wanted the Jockey Club to be Yellowstone.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
So that people would come to both. The same people will go to both. And the Jockey Club is such a beautiful piece of
Absolutely.
land.
And I think
It would be
Mrs.
easy
Roberts
to
is
do it.
probably going to hold to that truth a little bit. I don't think it will be Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, she's obviously a
yeah.
very intelligent woman and knows how to develop
Yeah,
land,
and-
so I'm sure she will.
Right.
I'm sure it's
And
gonna
if she's
look
looking for anybody,
Yeah. I think that might be a little over my head, but yeah.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So you're doing that.
Yeah.
You do also have a passion that you and I have talked about for years, and we give each other a hard time about it, with the educational 3-day events. So that is kind of always been your
Yeah.
pet project thing. So tell us a little bit about that, what you've done with it,
Yeah.
why you think it's great.
And I wanted to say I like that we're working our way backwards
In time.
in time.
Makes it easier to remember where you are,
Then we can get
a timeline.
right down to the one that started it all.
Mr. Molokai.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I know.
Well-
I like how we're doing it though.
Yeah, well done.
He did it, not me.
It was really planned ahead of time.
Yeah, tell us about the educational 3-day. I know it was a brainstorm of yours, so what's going on with it?
Well, I think it was more pounded into my brain. Mary Fite came to me long time ago and told me this. She had this idea to do a 3-day event at the lower levels, training level. And I remember thinking, oh my God.
Was this before?
This is before there was ever a classic 3-day.
So this was when proper 3 days were still
This
going
is
on.
when we were all
Okay, back when things were
cruising.
right.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's another subject, but anyway, back in the crazy and wild old days,
Yeah.
right? When everybody had to have a thoroughbred.
Yep.
Anyway, she came to me and she said, I want to do this as an educational, and I want to do it at the training level. And I thought, everybody is going to die. Like, there's no way.
Right.
And slowly through the years of helping her a little bit, I began to realize that it is absolutely a fantastic educational tool. We don't even realize what it did for us.
Right.
But for us to survive, to even complete a preliminary 3-day event back in the day, we had to have a modicum of horsemanship that isn't necessarily required as early now.
Yep.
And it isn't that the kids these days are lazy or whatever. It's just not required. And so if it's not required, they're going to do what's required. And when I say required, I mean what's necessary.
Yep.
They're going to do what's necessary to be successful. And if it isn't, then
Well, I mean,
you know.
and to your point, I mean, because if they did do what we did, they would have a totally different horse that they're competing.
yeah,
So yeah, I get that.
very, very different horse. Yes. So
That said,
Oh.
as an aside, my very first 3-day event was a training level 3-day event, educational 3-day at Peter Gray and Paul Delbook's farm in Canada, and I rode a Irish cob, and I won.
What?
Yeah. He
So-
was not a thoroughbred type, and he did actually do it. Anyway, go ahead.
well, I kind of think the thoroughbreds were more necessary at the upper
What
levels.
are you saying?
Yeah, but anyway.
It was a big deal, Dorothy.
yeah, okay.
It was a big deal.
It just means you're a
You
child.
you can do that.
Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if that's when you did your first long format 3-day event, I know, wrong words, classic 3-day event,
Long format's fine, whatever.
you know, whatever. But anyway,
Was that the
then
first time you
you're
did
a
it?
child. Wow.
That was my first one, yeah.
You were 19.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
because I lived in Wisconsin. It was not exactly the
I
mecca
guess
of
that's about the
eventing.
right age, but I mean, it was training 3-day, but
My
Well,
first one was in 1983 at Bromont.
That's impressive.
1983 at Bromont. Mine was
Do you know what? Do you
1988 at Radnor.
what's?
Dude.
You know what's really interesting for me
What's that?
is I did the training 3-day when I was 19. I did Kentucky 4-star when I was 21.
What?
That's a pretty steep learning curve.
From Cobb, and what did you ride there?
I had a Prairie Schooner.
Yeah.
The most beautiful horse I've ever had. Sorry, all the other horses, but Schooner was beautiful.
It was.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Anyway,
s-
sorry, I keep
We're going to
getting
spin you
distracted.
back into what you were doing. So you.
Oh, I can. I
know,
got you.
you can spin right
I
now.
got you. I can spin, girl. I can spin.
You can say spin, girl. I can spin, girl.
Get in trouble. Anyway, so it became apparent to me through the years as I felt the horsemanship in our sport was decreasing in general.
Yeah.
That the place where it was not decreasing were these little classic formats at the beginner, or not now, the novice training. In the beginning, it was preliminary, and that sort of fell away, and I understand why. But at that level, the people that did it and went on tended to be better horse people than the people that didn't. And so then I started thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this and not cram it in an existing horse trial? Therefore, you only are doing the minimum of education. You know, I wanted to give all of the people that were never fortunate enough to do the full thing, the full Monty, the whole 5 days of going there and being the star, right? I mean, if everything is about them, just like it was for us whenever we made it to a 3-day.
Yep.
I mean, that's the cool thing about it. You know, it's for those few days, few special days. It's all about you and your horse. And I wanted to give them that, and then just quietly educate at the same time.
Right. And that's what it's saying. It's a clinic too.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I did it, and it's even more of a clinic now, but the one I did, like, you got taken out and shown what steeplechase was. I don't think we wrote it, which I think you get to
I think
ride
it's
it now.
important. Yeah.
And because I did one, I volunteered to teach steeplechase at Rebecca Farm at one a few years ago, and we practice, and it is important to do it because
Yes.
I almost fell off at a couple steeplechases over the years.
Yes.
So it is
Well,
an important thing to practice.
You can know how to do it and still fall off. I mean, you know. But anyway, yeah. The way for me, steeplechase schools, you do a half a minute so that they understand. No, this is really how fast you should be going.
Yeah.
And then you do a nice gentle triple bar that will fall down when they make mistakes. And then when they're ready, you let them go on around and do a real steeplechase fence. And you
Yeah,
know,
that's
and
great.
it ends up being a really great experience for them.
When you did steeplechase, both of you guys, did you, like, I always, like, you measure your minute markers, but like sometimes, especially at like now 3-stars, you would have had like maybe a 3-minute chase, right?
Yeah.
So I always
3
knew
to
where
4,
30
yeah.
seconds was.
Yes, 30 seconds.
Because
per
if I
hop.
didn't know where 30 seconds was, by the time you get to a minute, you're done. You're cooked
Yeah.
if you're too far behind. Did you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
I'm
still
pretty
do.
sure. I think I did quarters. I did all kinds of stuff on
If I'm doing, you'll see there'll be long, colorful duct tape on the inside.
Right.
That'll be, here's your 30, here's your 1, here's your.
I remember at the end of like when the full phase was phasing out.
Yeah.
I remember we got to the point where you would see people had marked the stringing.
Yes.
Just like people just like forget it.
Oh, there it is. Got it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think the last one that I did was Kentucky '92 with the
Really?
steeplechase there. It was, I'm really glad that I got to do the
Totally.
steeplechase at Kentucky because he always asked, what was it like? I was like, it was pretty amazing.
It was
You
awesome.
need to come. Come do one.
You
It's
should
really
come
fun.
do one. It'd be fun.
Hey, well, he would do it in a
the
minute.
people watching have any idea who we're talking to?
Yeah, it's Briggs. They know
it's
Briggs.
No, I mean, they see?
They can't see him, but they,
They
don't
can't
even
say they know him.
Okay, guys.
They hear him.
Briggs sitting over there on the couch.
Briggs is going to come do one. He's committed now.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think so. I remember when the whole thing was happening, right? And I know you were a big part of the conversation. We had conversations
Yeah.
about it, about like it's going away, it shouldn't
Yes.
go away, fighting to try to keep it, realizing we weren't going to keep it. And I remember saying, it's going away. There's nothing we can do about it. We just
Yeah.
need to teach the horsemanship the
In
new
another way.
And you know what? We haven't.
We haven't.
And I don't know that that's really anybody's fault.
It isn't.
Because like you said, if you don't have to do it, you don't have to do it.
So when you're trying to be successful with your horse, you figure out what you need to keep the horse sound and healthy and happy and competitive and all of that stuff. You do that.
Yeah.
But if you're not having to jog up, it's better now because there are more FEI competitions.
Yes.
Right? So, but if you're not having to present that horse to be sound before you can complete your competition.
Yeah, I do think having more FEI competitions has improved it.
Yes.
Rick, you had something.
I did. I was just thinking through it because I do know that I think maybe it has gone away for a majority, but I think the people in the right circles, the young kids in the right circles, doing the right thing with the right people are learning
Oh, I'm not saying.
today
Oh,
what
for sure.
you really need to do because
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah,
before in the day, I mean even when I was doing it back in the day, I mean I didn't have a group of vets that we referred to all the time, and on Mondays when we get back from the event that I'd have my vet there and checking my horses. We didn't have that luxury back then, but we did check our horses and
Yes.
made sure they were right and what was going on with them. But I think we do have a bit of a upper scale on just technology and education on the
yeah.
kids that know what's going on.
But don't you think, I'm just thinking out loud here and I'm interested in both your thoughts on this. When I was a kid in Wisconsin, if I had wanted to go do a 3-day event, I would have gotten ready and then someone would have said to me, well, you have to do roads and tracks and steeplechase. And I would have said, what is that? I'd never done it. And then I would have reached out to somebody who knew and I would have gotten a ton of education from that person. Now, if you want to do a 2-star long, really, you don't have to know any other stuff than what you've been doing at the horse trials, am I right? And I think that might be a big piece of this
I
is,
think it's a very big.
Well,
piece.
I would have called up Dorothy and said, Dorothy, what do I do? I don't know what I'm doing. Now, if I was 19, I'd been like, well, it's a minute and a half longer, whatever, I'll go. And
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think the other big problem with today is, I'm sorry out there, the young people need to be more interested in what happened in the past.
yeah.
And I think
That's true. That's always true.
But it's when I was young,
I wasn't interested in what happened in the past. I wanted to know what I needed to do to make.
But I
to
was
win
interested
ribbons.
in the
Sorry.
past
Yes.
all the time. I wanted to know what came before
special.
me. But no, he does too. I
Yeah,
mean,
but that's because
That's-
Briggs is
you know,
85.
We're
We've
still
established that.
talking about Briggs, who we can't even see. That
they
insert-
see him all the time.
Okay. Anyway, all right. Well, no, I think that's always true. I'm not discounting what you're saying at all.
Or even,
I'm just-
okay, let me also say this.
Yes?
Or even at the event, going and watching John ride, even if you're
We don't wanna
not
do
riding
that.
with John. Going and watching Philip ride, anybody ride, instead of being back at the barn on their
your phone.
phones.
So when it really came home to me, I was doing a clinic, I won't say where, The year that Mike Plum almost got to carry the flag at the Olympics, because it was his, I think, and please
He did
don't
a
hold me
lot.
to this, maybe 6th Olympics.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7. Yeah.
He was at that point.
He was on Adonis.
He'd been on.
We'll have
no,
Briggs Stat Boy look it up. How many Olympics did he do?
I think he did 7.
Started first Olympics was in 1960 in Rome, and then the only one he missed was 88.
So what's that?
92.
So do math. I don't do math.
We need it. So anyway, it
A
was
bunch.
a lot. It was as many as any American Olympian, not
Right.
just horse person, but American Olympian. So
Yeah.
therefore, they wanted him to. They were talking about him carrying the flag. So this is, a big
That's
deal,
big.
right? That's big.
Yep.
So I'm giving a clinic, and a gentleman was riding, and he was maybe a little too much in that cross country C, all the time, even when he was doing dressage.
Yep.
And I said, I know Mike does it, and he obviously does it well, but unless you can ride like Mike, you need to sit up. And I got
Who's Mike?
6 blank faces looking
They
back
didn't
at
know
me.
Mike Plum.
They did, and I said, Mike Plum, 6 blank faces. And that was a long time ago.
Right.
So
Still get blank faces.
I get blank faces all the time. But anyway,
Yeah.
have you all noticed? Well, not y'all aren't old enough, but the really other fun thing is you start doing these little analogies and lessons.
I think
And
I'm
Yes.
old enough.
the blank
you know what I do?
faces are
I
getting
say-
older. Like people your age giving me blank faces.
Yes.
I'm like,
I just look at them when they
I
do that to
gotta
me
go.
and I say, tomorrow you need to tell me all about that person.
It still works when I say you've got to sit up, pretend like you're Dolly Parton.
Right.
That still works.
Careful.
People do know.
Careful.
I know. I get it.
Steady.
Safe sport.
I always say, show me the money.
Real Mike Plum.
Earn money.
Mike Plum, when I see him, I still to this day say, how are you, Mr. Plum? And he says to me, it's Mike. Don't call me Mr. Plum, John. And I'm like, I can't do that, Mr. Plum.
Can't do it. You know what we should do? I think we should take a break.
Well, before we take a break, I
What are we gonna
agree.
do?
We're going to just check in because we've been talking about the educational 3-day. I think it's a great spot that
For
we'll
Emily to come in.
have Emily.
Yeah.
So I was down at the horse park.
Can I say something really
Yes,
quick?
yes.
Okay, so the good news, putting this together a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
The good
You
news
don't have to
is
rush.
my
Yeah, you can go
medalist
slow.
designs. I can go slow. My medalist designs is done well enough this spring that I didn't have time to do the educational 3-day, and I was trying to do both and failing miserably. And a really nice woman, I think you might know her, name's Jen.
Yeah. Thanks for
gave-
this, by the way.
Was kind enough to step in, and she brought in Emily, and so Jen Halling
Yeah.
and Emily Holmes are keeping it going, which I cannot thank them
And do you know
enough.
how every time you would call me and be like, would you? And I'd be like, no, I can't. No, I can't. Well,
Now you
when
have
Jen
to.
asked me, yes, and now I am. So thanks for that.
Perfect.
But yes, so let's check in with Emily because she's going to give all the details on how you enter and what you can kind of expect for that specific competition. So we'll do that, and then we'll just go straight to a break and be right
I like
back
that.
with Dorothy. We can talk about Molokai.
Molokai,
Yeah,
the best horse in the world,
absolutely.
period.
All right, let's check in with Emily. I'm here with Emily Holmes, and we are at the Ocala Horse Trials. It is hot.
It is. Are you sure?
I'm pretty warm. Yeah, I put
Pretty
on my
hot?
best T-shirt for the
pretty hot.
interview. So I wanted to catch with you because we've got Dorothy Crowell in,
Yep.
and one of her passions is obviously the 3-day, the
Yeah.
educational 3-day,
Yeah.
and the horse park has decided that they would run that this
Yeah,
year.
absolutely.
So what are the dates of it, first of all?
November 19th through the 23rd. So we'll move in Monday and everybody can go home Sunday.
And what are the levels?
We're running starter through training 3-day only.
Okay.
Yep, it's unrecognized, but it's a USEA educational activity.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you have to be a USEA member and all that stuff?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. And then for qualifications, it doesn't have to be a recognized competition for your MERs. Either it can be a pop show, it can be majestic, anything like that. We can be used as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so people enter. What are they expecting to get out of this? Or what should they expect?
It's more of a clinic, less of a competition. There's a competition aspect, but there'll be a dressage fix-a-test, and then you do your test. There'll be steeplechase demo, and you can try steeplechase, and then there's the competition part of steeplechase. And we'll have Chris Barnard coming and helping set up show jump, and everybody will be able to learn about design and why he sets this over this and stuff like that. And we'll be doing talks and stuff like that. So we're really focusing on the educational aspect.
Any
And
other
adding-
people coming to help out with this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I think you are doing the steeplechase demo with your wife. We have Jay Hambley designing the cross country, as he would.
Yep.
Debbie Adams is coming.
Is he going to give any talks or anything, or is he just designing?
No, he's not. He's coming next month.
Jay?
2 months early.
Okay.
That's how much he wants to skip it.
Right, okay.
We're having Debbie Adams come as a dressage judge. Ashley Johnson is coming, and we'll lean on her as well for like the mental part of competing and stuff like that. There's rumors Karen O'Connor is coming to do the jog demo.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we'll be adding people here and there as well.
So you basically have all different clinicians coming in, helping out, doing talks.
Yep, each day we'll have 1 or 2 focus items, and then like we'll do food truck dinners, and we're bringing people in for talks and stuff like that. But low-key, learning opportunity, and we just want it to be fun. We want everybody to have fun.
It sounds awesome. I actually did one. My first 3-day ever was a training level educational.
Perfect.
It was really fun.
I've never done one.
Yeah,
so
they're really fun. Well, I'm excited about that. Now, the last question is, are the entries capped?
Yes.
So if people want to go, they need to get their entries in.
Yep, we're capping at 80 entries. No more. Absolutely no more than 80.
I like how you looked at Jen as you said that.
I did. No more than 80 entries.
Yeah.
And we do have early bird entries that open September 1st. They're only open for 16 days. Entries do have to be paid in full to count as an early bird entry, but it takes $250 off a regular entry price.
Okay, and they go to event entries to enter?
Evententries.com. Yep, it'll be uploaded on September 1st, and it'll be first come, first serve for entries. So
awesome.
We do expect most of our entries to fill up in the early bird.
Yeah, so if you guys want to enter, you got to get entered.
Get on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
How was Wally?
Perfection. Oh, he answered himself.
Good job, Wally.
Yeah.
You look great out there, buddy.
He was a good boy.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Your cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com. Reset, reboot, rebuild, restore. Experience the transformative power of our formulas you can trust. Elevate your horse's well-being from the inside out with Parkmore supplements. European designed, American manufactured, and Kentucky Proud certified. Parkmore's Devil's Own Detox, Nature's Own Binding Agent, cleansing your horse's system. Now available for your canine kids too. Say goodbye to unwanted elements and hello to vitality. Parkmore Special Vitamin Mineral Supplement, a micronutrient powerhouse. No fillers, just 4 ounces a day for a 5-star eventer that thrive. Because excellence deserves exceptional nutrition. Parkmore GLF Immuno Booster. Unleash the magic gold, the #1 building block for cell replication. Elevate wellness and recovery for your horses and dogs, whether after training, travel, competition, or during periods of injury, illness, or surgery. Parkmore HI Oil Infusion. Customize your blends of herbs and spices to naturally combat inflammation, bacteria, and restore gut flora. Elevate your horses and dogs' appetite naturally. Expert guidance awaits. For more information, schedule an online, telephone, or on-site consultation with Fleur or one of our dedicated team members. Visit parkmoresupplements.com or call, text at 502-265-8345 to elevate your companion's well-being today. Since 1950, Maison Forestier has been offering its know-how to design custom-made saddles for passionate riders. In 2016, Maison Forestier took a turn and expanded into the sports world with the goal of improving the performance of the rider-horse pair. You will find a professional, reactive, and fun team to answer your needs. And this is why I have chosen Forestier for all of my saddlery needs. Feel free to contact the saddle expert in your area for more information by visiting www.forestier.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We're still here in the Jump for Joy studio. Thank you to Jump for Joy for sponsoring the studio. Thank you to Horse Trailer Pros. If you guys need anything done to your horse trailers, Dorothy, you need anything done to your horse trailers, you want to go to Matt Taub over at Horse Trailer Pros. He is amazing.
Did you wait too
awesome
long?
job. Why are you making a face?
My trailer is still there. I literally forgot my trailer.
Matt?
I'm sorry, Matt. He did a great job.
Of course he did.
And
It's
I need
just
to go
sitting there?
pick it up.
But isn't it
Yes.
great that at Horse Trailer Pros you don't have to worry about your trailer?
It's
you know
secure.
it's taken care of. It is
It's
secure
beautiful
and
and
safe.
it's taken care of, and I'm going to go get it.
All right, go get it. And also, if you need any new
Anything
jumps,
done.
the cross-country jumps Jump for Joy has are amazing, so you want to check those out as well. Dorothy, we spent a bunch of time talking about the educational 3-day event, but the ultimate 3-day event horse was, of course, Molokai. So,
Yep, I agree.
I mean, he was unreal, and you two made your career together. So
Yes.
I would love to hear, and I've heard it bits and pieces, but I would love to hear sort of the story of Molokai, like how you found him, where he was, and talk
And I
us-
liked that I was along for the ride.
Yes,
It's kind of a long story, but I'll try.
that's right. We got time.
Okay. So I got a call one morning. One of my students, I told you, I'm starting
That's
at the
good.
beginning.
I like it.
Gotta start at the beginning. One of my students called and said she wanted me to go with her to look at a thoroughbred. The interesting thing was, that night I'd had a dream. I never remember my dreams, but I remembered being on a horse, riding for the team, which was of course my dream at that point. You know, I wanted to do that. At that point, I'd done a couple of advanced horse trials on Delphi Diver, but I had never done an advanced 3-day yet. And so we went to look at Malachi. Malachi at that point was 3 years old. He was so skinny and ewe-necked, and he had scars on his fetlocks because he walked circles in his stall.
Right.
And he would hit his feet so bad he would break them open, right? Hitting his, there
Sure.
was no reason. He was 16.2 to his wither, but he was actually really probably more like 16 hands. And I was all of, some men said 6 feet,
Right.
probably more like 5'11". And I got on him, and it truly was immediate. Like, it was more a conversation. It was more like he was ADHD, there's no doubt about it. And so his brain was going a million miles an hour going, what's going on, what's going on? He had raced, I think, 2 weeks before, and he was just, and my student got on him and got off immediately. He scared the heck out of her. I got on him, and he made me smile, and I guess I made him smile, and we didn't do anything. He couldn't go right. You know, he came off the track, he didn't know how to go right, right? So we didn't bother going right, but I walked, well, I don't think racehorses really know how to walk, so we sort of semi-jigged, and then we did really fast trotting, and then I hand galloped, and I don't know why.
So
I don't know why, don't ask me.
I have to. So the question is, why? Why would you have bought a ewe-necked 16.2 at his wither, but really 16 hand,
Like, tiny.
tiny little horse who's banging his feet together, can't walk, he
Scars
jigs,
on
he
his
doesn't go
fetlocks.
right,
Yeah.
has a ADHD brain. But I think this is important, right?
Yeah.
That horse
Something
would have been
clicked.
bypassed by
And was.
everybody.
I was told by some very good people whose names I will not say now, that I was crazy and I should sell him as soon as possible, right? And a little farther down the line, I was told he was dangerous, and I should sell him,
Right.
So why is simply I had asked my aunt for the money, and then I did a deal with the Mangiones who owned him to work every thoroughbred sale until I paid them off. So my aunt made he was $5,000.
That's a lot back then.
That is a lot of money, actually.
I didn't really know. It was average then, and it's average now. That is the sad
Okay,
truth.
well, that's sad then,
right?
yeah, okay.
That is the sad truth of getting a horse off the track. But anyway, so I worked all those sales
But
until he was paid off.
$5,000 was more back then. we can say it's still $5,000
it's the
a day.
same price for the horse, but
Right.
it was a lot of money
Right.
to come up
I
with.
just want to make
as a-
sure that
as
was
a poor
for
horse
people to go
person.
$5,000 and she's working and she was borrowing money. I was like, that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You do-
I get it. Yeah.
So, but the reason I did it is that immediate simpatico.
So when you
we
sat on him.
When I sat on him and I asked him to walk, which he didn't, he jigged, and then I laughed at him because he was jigging, and then I will say, when we picked up the little hand gallop, I did feel something that made me go,
Right.
But that was it. I mean, he trotted so fast you couldn't post. Seriously.
Just hover.
Just hover.
What
So
year was that?
That would have been 86. And then, don't hold me to that.
So
And then
he was 3 in
years old.
86.
He was born in 83.
Okay.
So then, fast forward, I got him, messing with him, whatever. We did our first little cross country school, and I took a babysitter, like you always do. My idea of your first cross country school is go for a hack. Just go for a walk. He never needed a babysitter, a little log, whatever. He did, and we were done. And so we're hacking back towards the barn, and I'm talking to the person on a relatively loose rein. And he peels away from his babysitter. This is a 3-year-old from off the track, thoroughbred. Peels away from his babysitter and starts walking towards something. What is he doing? We're laughing at each other. Where is he going? Then he picks up a trot, right? And I notice he's aiming at what is a training level oxer between the trees at Masters Station Horse Park.
No kidding.
And I look back over my shoulder. What does he think he's doing? Still laughing at him. Then he picks up a canter, right? And so then I start to go, oh shit, I better pay it. Sorry, language.
Yeah,
you're good.
I better pay attention.
I like that. I would say, oh shit, I better pay attention.
Pay attention. This horse is going to kill me. He's probably going to stop at the last minute. So I got way in the back seat because I was sure he's going to stop. But I want to see what he's going to do. I didn't touch him. And he jumped over the fence. And when he jumped over the fence, now granted, we'd only been walk, trot, popping tiny, tiny logs.
Right.
When he jumped over the fence, because he was impressed with the size, he jumped really high. And I blew out of both of my stirrups, had one hand on the rein, was desperately looking for the saddle to land in, to put my knees together so I'd hit knees first and not just go plap on his back and get exited. I managed to land somewhere on him, and when I landed, he took off. So the three things I learned. One, he loved going cross country. He loved it so much that he decided what we did was boring,
Right.
and he was going to go do something bigger.
Right.
That was one. Two, obviously bravest, whatever. I have 4 things. 3, that was the biggest I'd ever jumped in my life. Like, I don't know how big he jumped, but
bigger
I'm
than
way
you've
in
been
the back seat,
Right.
and I'd gone advanced, and I'd never been that high on a horse in my life, ever. And this is while I was still on him. Now, when I got jumped out of the tack, then I was really high, but I'm not even talking about that. And then the last one, I galloped the full brother to Mr. Prospector because I used to gallop race horses as a side job to be able to come south.
Because when
in
you're a
the winter.
6-foot-tall woman, it makes sense that you would gallop racehorses.
Well, actually, yeah. So they loved eventers. They probably still do
Right.
because we can ride.
Because you can gallop.
And we know how to gallop.
Right.
So, and it doesn't really matter how tall you are as long as you can keep your balance.
Right.
I didn't do very well on the fillies because they were too small.
Sure.
But anyway, I had galloped the full brother to Mr. Prospector, whom I hope you all out there know who that is.
Yes, of course.
better.
Mr. Prospector
And
was
along
foundation
with
for everything.
slew, yeah, no kidding, along with a slew
And
of
you're-
other
now
really well-bred thoroughbreds.
You're mentioning Seattle Slew. Is that what you're doing?
I did not gallop Seattle Slew, but did gallop Seattle Slew babies. But and I'd never gone that fast on a horse.
That's Molokai.
And in that moment in
When he
time,
landed.
when he landed, and I had no stirrups and only one finger in the rein.
So
and
did
they
you stay
hung-
on?
I stayed on.
All right, well done.
Back then I could,
Right.
but and the other thing is, it was so much fun. The
Yeah.
whole thing was so much fun.
So
and I just
So my memories. We were very side by side
Yes.
with the thoroughbreds, right? Mine
Yes.
was born in '82.
Yeah.
And I got it from the Goshes.
yes,
So mine was red. Yours was,
bay,
I know, but dark bay.
yes,
and he wasn't the best in the dressage, right?
I did finally get to the point where
You had some good stuff.
We did get enough rhythm in that trot that I could go up and down.
You could post the trot.
But I think the point of the matter is, at the 3-year-old, you noticed all those 4 things, right?
Yeah.
It's what made him who he was,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And what took you from, I don't know, back in the day you could be, and I know, 20th, and go after cross country and be in the top 3.
Oh, I was 4th from last at Radnor with Mo at his
See?
first, what would now be known as a three long,
Right.
I was 4th from last out of 54 horses. That put me in 50th. And we went clean and fast on cross country and moved up to 4th.
Yep. That's how it was back then.
That's right. That is how it was. It was a different sport for sure. It's still, say, cross country is still pretty influential, but not like it was.
Not 50 places.
Right. So
Not
you
more.
knew in that moment, but when do you think the rest of us knew?
Radnor.
When-
Radnor's when Jimmy Wofford came up to me and said, keep that horse.
When he moved up to 4th.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Radnor is when the first, Jimmy Wofford was
The guy.
Yeah.
the guy. Right?
Yeah.
So for him to come up and after all these people whose opinions I respected were not happy about it, he came up and said, I don't care what anybody says, you keep that horse.
What year was that? Was that 89?
Yes.
So I was there that year too. That's why I remember.
With the bounce, you remember
the
that?
downhill bounce. Yep.
Sorry.
It was really.
There are some fences that you will never
Where it
forget.
started on the tree line
Yeah.
at the top and you went straight down.
Straight down. It was bad. It was not
I mean,
bad,
it was
but
doable.
bad.
Right.
Well, we did it.
We did it.
We probably should do some more stuff like that. We'll need to talk to Jay. Jay,
No,
we
Jay.
want downhill too. I'm trying to
No.
get him to put a
No.
leaf pit type fence for practice at the horse park here in Florida, so that we don't all show up to Morven Park and not know how to do it.
Just
Well,
put it
that's
off the
cool.
bridge.
Yeah, right. So you go to Radnor. He does an amazing job for you. What was next?
So next, we went to Kentucky, and that's when they had the wiggly worm,
Yep.
and
That Mike Huber made famous.
and a few very, very good riders got carted off in ambulances, and I was a little scared by the time I got there, and so I choked him down to nothing, and he tried to save the day, and we went head over tea kettle, and so that wasn't good. And then we made our way back. There was a lot of, there's so much more now as far as sports psychology, saddle fit, all of the therapies you can do, the things I could have done
Sure.
for Mo and myself. But we made it back, went to Fair Hill, jumped around at there, and
That was with Jim. Were you with Jimmy at Fairhill as well?
yes, sort of. I was never really a student of Jimmy's. I just adored him and went to
Gotcha.
work with him whenever I could.
Sure.
Sure. I mean, you'd
but-
show up and say, hey, help me out.
Yes. And because of that, then we went back to Kentucky and we finished 4th again. Well, we finished 4th there, and that put us on the short list to go to Barcelona.
Right.
And so he got to go and train at Solely Stud, that's Sandy Pfluger Phillips.
Right.
And that's when Mike was there with Adonis, and David was there, and that was, all the stars were there. And the person that probably made the biggest difference in my life would have been George Theodorescu. He came in to do dressage with the British team, and Mark talked to him and Sandy talked to him, and they snuck me in for a lesson, and I was terrified, and he helped me more than anybody.
That's amazing.
That was the first time. Think about all I'd done to that point.
Right.
That was the first time I ever had fun with Molokai on the flat.
That's pretty incredible and good timing.
Now what about, Dougie tells us Dougie Hannum tells us a lot of
Yes.
stories about Molokai.
Yes.
And-
Dougie Hannum also is why Mo made it to, Mo was done so many times as far as the vets were concerned.
Right.
This horse is done, this horse is done. And
Dougie's
because
like,
he was
no.
my only one.
Right.
You tend to take a little bit more particular care when you only have one. And Dougie took him under his wing, and I mean, Mo had something we didn't know why. He had hives. He didn't get to run at Atlanta. So I was the traveling reserve in Barcelona, and then the traveling reserve, which was Mara Depew, took my place in Atlanta.
But
So
let's
I
not
got both
skip.
sides of
Let's
that.
not skip the most important year, '94. Come on.
That's true. Can't skip
You
that
can't
one.
skip your silver medalist.
Yeah, this is what I've
Come
been
on.
waiting for.
World Championships. Go through that for
Yeah,
us.
so take us through
That one's
that
huge.
competition.
So back in that day, when you had
So
four,
which World Championships was this?
in
Is it
94.
94, which was
in
where?
The
At The Hague.
Okay.
In Den Haag. And back in the day, you had 4 people on a team. And
I think
so,
let's name them. Easter Parade and Jim Graham.
oh, right. Well, I was just saying you had 4 people,
Right.
but absolutely. Easter Parade and Jim Graham went out first. You wanted the horse and rider that was going to jump around the course. So they weren't necessarily supposed to try to go clean and fast. They were supposed to get out there and show that your routes, that, you know, all the main routes were doable, that the team plan was doable.
The Pathfinder.
Right, the Pathfinder. Then the second person was the first one that hopefully was going to go clean and fast.
Who was
the
that?
third person, that would have been Karen and Biko. And that Karen O'Connor, sorry, and Biko. And then the third is the cushy spot. And I, being the least experienced at that point, got to be in the cushy spot. And people were like, oh, you know, we're sorry. And are you kidding?
Yeah, I'll take.
I'll take the cushy spot.
Right.
Right. And then the fourth was, of course, the wise and wonderful Bruce Davidson on Eagle Lion. And so when I came into the box for cross country, Molokai, by the way, did the best test of his career, and he ended up within 10 points of first place, which was back then
Close.
that was close enough,
yeah.
right? And so anyway, I
not the
came
light.
into the box,
Keep going.
and Mark said the words I was dying to hear, which was, "Go fast. It works. Go as fast as you want."
Wow.
So Malachi and we went out there, and we went as fast as we wanted. But before that, this is on a horse who having time penalties. We were on steeplechase and cruising along on our minutes, no problem. 4-minute kit chase at 6:90.
It's fast.
And all of a sudden, Mo lost his rhythm. He had the most amazing, smooth, effortless gallop of anything I've ever sat on. And his rhythm got rough, so I pulled up immediately, looked around, couldn't see anything, walked, he was fine, trotted, he was fine, cantered, he was fine. By this time, we're cantering to the next fence, so we just kind of cantered over the next fence. And then he still seemed fine, so I went, okay, went forward, started going, and then realized I had no idea where it was on the clock.
Right.
Had no idea. And so I decided, okay, he seemed fine, he still seems fine. I pulled up on a 690 course. So it was the first time and the only time
That you had time penalties.
that I allowed that horse to go as fast, like I actually was saying, go faster.
Right.
Right? And that last 45 seconds was the most fun I've probably ever had in my life. Because guilt-free,
Right.
I got to go as fast. And what turned out is he'd clipped his foot, pulled it up, stepped back down on it.
Right.
Right? And then decided, because he was Mo, that
He was
it
fine.
didn't hurt. He was fine.
Right.
And
Well,
off
I mean,
he
he had all
went.
the experience from when you bought him, and he was clicking his feet together.
That's right.
So it didn't matter.
So anyway, but yes, those time penalties kept me from winning the gold medal. But
So
those are good
what
time
place were you
penalties.
after cross country?
Oh gosh,
Come on, this is only.
it was in the top 10. Like
Okay.
I mean, I was
And then
close.
how was he in show jumping?
He was great.
He was good
I
that
made
morning.
a-
Didn't
I
matter
made
with
a-
the clip going into the vet drug.
There was some work. Work
We had
was
to
done.
do work. Yes.
Dougie was there.
Dougie was definitely there. Marty Simonson was there.
Right.
a wonderful vet.
Yes.
And with their help, we got him through the jog. We decided that, Mark and I decided that we would just do maybe 4 jumps and warm up. And that's all he needed. He was fine. I maybe needed a few more. But anyway, he didn't, he was, the good thing is he was used to me, so he just ignored me and jumped
Did his
where
job.
he needed to. And we managed to go clean. And
That's amazing.
But for those time penalties, we would have won the gold medal. Yeah. But again,
But you were
those
doing
are
your
good
horsemanship.
time penalties, right? I mean, there
You
are
were-
other things that I made mistakes on that I will forever be frustrated about. But that was the right thing
Making
to
sure
do.
your horse is okay
Yeah,
is
that's
is
right.
definitely the right way to go.
Yeah.
And you got the silver.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So the
and I
one-
know where it is.
You do know where it is now?
I do.
You
You
should've
didn't
brought
know where it was for a while?
Yeah, this is a funny story. I asked her where her medal was, and she was like, I don't
really
know. I was at her
know.
house.
I hope it's somewhere. I'd moved so many times.
Well, now you
lost-
found it. It
My
should be in
daughter
the
found
shadow
it.
box.
My child found
It
it.
should be in a shadow box with a picture of Molokai.
Yes, I have a plan.
Mo.
My house that I'm building on my lot. It's
It's going to be the door knocker.
Yeah.
But that would be great.
So the competition I remember is Kentucky.
Yeah.
After that, when he won, right?
His final.
That was his
3-day.
last competition, right?
Yeah, that was super special.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's because I moved east in like 96.
Yeah.
So that's when I would have, like, it was kind of at the end.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Kentucky and I was competing, but I think I was in the 4 and you were in the 5. Is that right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, wow, that is something else.
Ah.
He was incredible.
It was, I mean, he was still jumping fantastic, but I knew it was time to retire because for the first time in my life, I actually had to put my leg on to
Right.
jump some fences,
Right.
which Molokai, if you put your leg on, you ended up past the distance.
Right.
Right? So you had to have your leg there hugging, like Mr. Law says, like a wet rag,
Right.
right? Just laying there, but that's it. So if you were nervous and you put more leg on,
And
so when I start having to use leg, I'm like, okay, he's
Right.
telling me it's
Yeah.
time.
But
But
he-
the most
Great
amazing,
career.
amazing thing about that, my biggest memory is from the start box to the finish line, there was cheering the whole way.
yeah.
Every galloping step, and that was a 14-minute course. So 14 minutes, he got cheered.
I'm just
all
going to
the way
say, and like,
around.
it's
It's
cool
amazing.
because you're on and you're like, oh, they're cheering for him.
Him. It's okay. I'm cool. I am proud of myself for shepherding a difficult, special, definitely on the spectrum
Yeah.
horse
Yep.
through his career and allowing him to express himself in a way. And I was just so lucky that I found him at the time I found him, because he would be, nowadays he would never.
Yeah.
He'd be fun,
Yes. But he'd be a cross country
but
horse.
he'd be a cross country.
And he was a cross country horse.
And he was.
But
Well,
kudos
show
to you for
jumping,
seeing
too.
it. And yes, absolutely. He was
yeah.
a jumping horse.
Yeah.
He was an athlete. But kudos to you for seeing him and knowing and feeling it. And that's the thing. Like, when I go look at horses with clients, I'll ride them sometimes if they ask me to sit on them. And they'll ask me what I think. And inevitably what I say to them is, like, here's what I think. But really,
It's got to be you.
if you love it, then you should buy it.
Yeah, I
'cause
tell
I'm-
everybody when you wake up in the morning after trying a horse, if you can't get the smile off your face, you need to buy it.
Right.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's the horse you were looking for or not, because that means you've met a personality that you want to. And
That's a good-
I mean, when you're riding horses, you're spending more time with the horses than you do with
You
your
got to get
wife.
along.
Yeah.
And it is a marriage, right? And so you have to want to be with that person
Yeah.
or that horse.
That horse.
That parent. That
It's good
character.
advice. It's good advice.
So.
Well, thank you for finally coming in. It took us forever to
Yeah,
get
I
you.
know.
I mean,
Well
you were so
done, you
difficult.
guys, because I told you I could talk about Molokai forever.
Which, as you should be.
Yeah, you should. You should.
I just loved being out there with you too, so it was fun.
It was great. We were lucky.
We were lucky.
We were lucky.
We were lucky. I stopped a little bit earlier than you did. I was like, okay, Kentucky, mine got an injury. I was like, done. But
Yeah.
he was a special horse.
He was a special horse.
You did a good job.
And I was lucky he got to live with me until he died at 31.
Yeah, I actually, I love that he lived right next door for a couple winters.
He did. He hated the cold, so he would come down and
Oh, that's right.
stay
You were
at,
right next door,
right
weren't
next
you?
door with Dorothy and
I just
Buddy
always
Henry.
remember seeing Dorothy at the end of cross country, and she always had tears in her eyes because she was going so fast.
Yeah, it wasn't because she was like so emotional. It was because she was like, oh my gosh.
No, it was because I love going fast.
I know,
love going
right?
fast. I was
Awesome.
too big to be a steeplechase jockey. That's really what I wanted to do.
Well, I think
But
I'm
got
glad
to be
you
a bit
did
of a
what you
steeplechase
did.
jockey with Molokai.
yes.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
You guys, this was fun. Thank you. I
It
appreciate
was
it.
awesome.
Awesome. Well, so we're going to be back in a couple weeks' time. Actually, I believe the next show is going to be, and I don't quote me on this because I haven't looked that closely, but I think it's actually Burley week. So
Yeah, you're right, because this coming week's Blair, and then it's the second weekend in September.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's right. It should be before Burley, so we'll be able to talk about that and all the Americans that are going there as well, a little bit more than we got to today. So thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Jump for Joy. Thank you to Horse Trailer Pros. As always, Matt and his team there are awesome and have been supporters of us for 5 years.
A long time.
Amazing. We are so excited. Dorothy, we have 21,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh,
So the
do
show.
the educational 3-day.
Yeah, do it. I mean,
November.
so-
It's so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely do it. And thank you to all of the
He's going to be there.
subscribers. And
He's going to be there.
Briggs is going to be there.
Briggs will be there.
Yeah.
We're all going to be there.
Thanks for watching the show. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.